5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Mock test 3. Okay, as usual, if you've missed some of the sessions, you can find them on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for Nearly Danish TV. Find the channel, click on playlists, and you see the sessions organized into InfoZats and Mailboy Escapes and everything you need is there. Well, most of the session, well, all of the sessions that we've done since the 1st of March. Was it the 1st of April? I don't even remember. Anyways, and we have a celebration barbecue on Saturday next week, 3rd of June. And you can find the event on the Facebook group. And I will be posting that up again. So if you can come, please come. All right, we're moving on to the test now. Get ready, go. Frequently asked question. The barbecue is in Copenhagen, not in Odense. So the question is, should Denmark's queen be a member of Dansk Folkekirken? And the answer is yes. She's the only person that actually doesn't have religious freedom. She always has to be a member of the church because she is the leader of the church. So it's the monarch. So it's whether it's a man or a woman, so whether it's a he or she, the monarch always has to be a member of the church. All right, 14 people got this wrong. I could tell you've not been practicing, because if you have been, then you would have seen this. This is one of the frequently asked questions. And that is one of the questions that you definitely need to know the answer to. There's only 3 days to the exam. So please, if you're not getting these frequently asked questions correct, I'm a bit worried, okay? There's only 3 days to the exam. There's 180 frequently asked questions. You must know the answers to every single one of those questions, because there's a high probability that they're going to show up in the test. All right, moving on to the next one. Also frequently asked. So the question is, should a minister be a member of parliament? The answer is no. A minister does not have to be a member of parliament to be appointed as a minister. So an individual does not have to be a member of parliament to be appointed as a minister. In recent history, an example is Tommy Alice. I think he was minister, I can't remember what minister he was, but he was appointed and he was not a member of parliament. However, if you are not a member of parliament, you cannot vote on the laws that are being passed in parliament. You'd have to stand aside. Okay, so 8 people got this wrong. You have to know the answer to this, okay? Before the test on Wednesday, sorry. At least now I know what you don't know. On to the next one. Tanker is the highest climber. So this is about the responsibilities of the state. So the state is responsible for the police, the judiciary, and defense. Only 2 people got this wrong, so not so bad. Round of applause. "79 players reached an answer streak of 3.
Excellent.
That's 100% so far, but there's only 3 questions. One of the most frequently asked questions. You have to know the answer to this. Hopefully you all get this right. I think if you all get this right, I'll give an explosion. I don't want to wait until we're halfway through. So let's see. All right, 2 people got this wrong, no explosion. So Denmark joined the EU in 1973. The year before, there was a referendum, and there was a slight majority of people voting that Denmark should join the EU. Denmark joined 1973. I think Ireland was one of the countries that joined in that same year. 2 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. This is a frequently asked question. You need to know the answer to this, okay? All right, Kudos is at number 1, M at number 2, AB 3, Deeps 4, R 5, 77 players hit an answer streak of 4.
Excellent.
We will be having another session tomorrow. It's not going to be a mock test. It's actually going to be one of the, I'm going to pick a random, actually, I'm going to pick the chapter 6. Anyways, moving on. Next one. New question. You've never seen this before in an exam. Let's see how many of you actually get this right. This is from chapter 5. Yes, so this is a brand new question from chapter 5. He is an author. Herman Bang wrote the book Velvine. And there are usually new questions from chapter 5. So please, if you haven't had a look there, please have a look. There is a quiz covering the whole chapter, so go have a look there. It covers all the authors, all the artists, all the, people that are in the creative arts, music, etc. 33 people got this wrong. Hopefully you get it right if it shows up. Plug those knowledge gaps, okay? 54 players reached an answer streak of 5. By the way, there will be about 20 new questions in the test on Wednesday. The trajectory or the trend so far is that the new questions keep on going up and up. So previously, there were out of 35 questions, about 5 of them were new. But now, out of 35 questions, 20 of them are new. So just keep that in mind. You have to put in the work. 3 days. If you do some all-nighters and if you're not prepared right now, and you do some, some heavy lifting in the next 3 days, then yeah, you have some hope. If not, then I'm not sure what to do. Anyways, 54 players reached an answer streak of 5. On to the next one. So how many Bulat and Landsrat are there? All right, a round of applause. That is a question that has appeared before. Deeps is holding that number 1 spot. New question. All right. So 7 people got this wrong. This is a new question. Bjarke Ingels, the creator of the studio called Big. He designed Copenhagen. Amarbach. I'm actually surprised that you guys did well in this. Round of applause. All right. Next one. New question. I don't expect you guys to do too well in this. It's a new question. Let's see how it goes. Not too bad. 20. What's going on with my math? 21 people got this wrong. So the share of organic farming in Denmark in 2020 is 11.7%. So Denmark is actually one of the countries with the highest share of organic farming in the world. 21 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. If that shows up, then you know. All right, next one. We saw this in the previous Melbo Escapes pawn on Wednesday. And someone was in doubt. Today your doubts will be rectified. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so you have to be 18 years old to buy tobacco, but you can buy beer and wine at the age of 16. I know it doesn't really make that much sense, but that's how it is. 28 people chose 18, 75 people chose 16. The 28 people that got this wrong, now you know what you don't know. There has been a question in one of the previous tests about how old you need to be to buy tobacco. And this time there could be a question about how old you need to be to buy beer and wine. So now you know what you don't know. All right. 3 in a row, Casey is back in the game and he's on fire.
Oh my! He's on fire!
Next one. You've seen this before. Okay, so Christian IV was the king during the Renaissance, and he was very interested in architecture and art, and he is responsible for a lot of the prominent buildings like Christiansborg Castle, Rundtorn, and a whole bunch of other places. I'm actually surprised 51 people got this wrong. This is interesting. It wasn't the Middle Ages and it wasn't the Enlightenment period, it was the Renaissance. Well, at least now you know what you don't know in case this shows up in the next test. Okay, these Kahoots are to show you what you don't know, to show you your knowledge gaps, okay? When you're done with this, go to the quizzes on the website and practice, okay? When you're practicing with those quizzes, practice. The quizzes are also to show you your knowledge gaps. Every time you fail something, it gives you instant feedback on what the correct answer is. If you don't get 100% of the quiz, or if you don't pass the quiz, you just do it again. Just keep repeating it until you get 80% and then move on to the next quiz. At the end of each quiz, when you have passed, there is a next button. So just keep doing that until you go through all the quizzes, okay? And if you do that successfully, you're going to pass the test. Those quizzes cover basically all the information in the book. On to the next one. It's been asked before. Yes, so Paul Schluter was from the Conservative People's Party when he was prime minister for 11 straight years. One of the longest reigning prime ministers, if not the longest reigning prime minister. I just wanted to show you guys the quiz website, okay? So nearlydanish.com. For infos@Pawn, click on quizzes and you'll see absolutely everything. Okay, so previous exams, do all of them. The same process I was telling you about. Do the quiz until you basically score 80 to 100%, and then move on to the next one. See this frequently asked questions, there's 4 parts. You need to know, basically you need to keep repeating these quizzes until you get 100% in each and every single one of them. You need to know the answers to every single one of these questions, because for sure you're going to see some of these questions on Wednesday. And yeah, I guess I don't need to tell you what to do with the rest of these. All right, we're going back to the Kahoot. Next one. Okay, so Chris is now at number 1, Ma at number 2, Menti number 3, Pan number 4, Tanker number 5. Lambie is back with an answer streak of 3.
Oh He's on fire!
On to the next one. I don't think this has been asked before. If it has been, I think it's only once or twice. But let's see how you guys do. So what's the name of the 5 regions that Denmark is divided into? All right, so it's Holsten, Sjælland, Syddanmark, Midtjylland, or Nordjylland. 12 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. Top 5 is reshuffle. Tanker now at number 2, Keshab number 3, Chris number 1, Menti and Pen 4-5. Pio is the highest climber, up 7 places.
Excellent.
Moving on to the next one. So when was the agreement of military cooperation signed by Denmark and the USA? Yes, it was signed in 1951. So with a bit of, what would I say now? Reasoning, you could get to the answer to this if you don't know the answer. So 1945 was the end of World War II. 1975 is too late. So too late because, I mean, that's what, 30 years after World War II. 51 is only 6 years after World War II. And Greenland was is a very strategic location for the USA because there is a very short distance between Greenland and Russia. And this was around the time of the Cold War. So right at the end of World War II, the Cold War started between Russia and the USA. And Greenland was very strategic. Actually, I think, anyways, before I start saying things I'm not too sure about, but yes, Greenland was very strategic, and Denmark signed a partnership with America for an army base to be built in Greenland, and it still exists in Thule in Greenland. All right. How many people got this wrong? 44 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. It's 1951. Hopefully the explanation was enough, but if not, just do the quizzes, and hopefully it doesn't show up on Wednesday. But if it does, well, at least now you know what the answer is. Tanker is now at number 1. I'm not surprised. It's Tanker, Chris, Keshab, Panama. Jin is back in the game 3 in a row.
Excellent.
Next one. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This is a new question. So the previous one was a new question. This one is as well. So how many people died of the Spanish flu in Denmark? All right, 15,000, about 15,000 people died. Spanish flu didn't really hit Denmark that hard because Denmark was not involved in World War One around the time. Wait, was that? Yes, around World War One. So it didn't spread as much because people were not really traveling to other places and, getting in contact with people that had the flu. So it didn't hit Denmark as hard, but it killed about 15,000 people. And majority of the people that died were actually people between the age of 20 and 40, so relatively young people that died. This is all in the book, by the way. If you're ever in doubt, check the book. 3 days to the test. So next one. All right, Chris back at number 1. At B7 is the highest climber, up 6 places. Next one. Frequently asked question. Okay. Victoria now in the top 5. AAA is the highest climber. Next one. This is a new question. So, what is the average height of Danish men? For people born in 1996. 181.4 cm. So previously they asked, this is part of the section that also talks about the average lifespan of men and women in Denmark. So in the last two tests, there have been questions about the average lifespan of men and women. And there could be questions about the average height. So for men, it's 181.4. For women, I can't remember, I think it's 162 or something like that. But this is part of Sundhed's version. I'm not sure what, I can't remember what chapter this is. I think it's in Capital 6. So yeah, Tima Opsler. All right, let's see. 35 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. Next one. Okay, so this one completely reshuffled the top 5. Okay, Chris, Ma, Victoria, Andy, and Pan MMM is making a comeback with 3 in a row.
Oh my! He's
To the
on
next
fire!
one. You've seen this before. Okay, nice work. Round of applause. There is no death penalty in Denmark, regardless of the crime you commit. But you can get sentenced to jail for life. All right, next one. So what is Denmark's average height above sea level? Okay, 7 people got this wrong. Only 7 people. Round of applause. KP is back in the game 3 in a row.
This girl is on fire!
Right, next one. We're almost halfway through now. So Gunlov was changed in 1953 and there was a reform in Rigsdagen. What happened with the reform? All right, so Landstinget was scrapped. So I'll give you an example. Maybe I'll do a comparison with the UK and this place. So in the UK, there's a thing called the House of Lords and the House of Commons. In the House of Lords, you have lords. So people that were landlords, rich people, basically, right? The House of Commons is the House of Commoners, right? So people that were voted into parliament. And there used to be a similar system in Denmark back in the day. With the reform in 1953, the equivalent to the House of Lords, which is Landsting, was actually scrapped. And now Folketing is the only thing that exists, which is equivalent to the House of Commons. So 20 people got this wrong. I hope that explanation made sense, just in case this shows up in the test. On to the next one. So the Marshall Plan, where did it come from? What country? The Marshall Plan was economic help. All right, Marshall Plan was economic support from the US after World War II that was given to a majority of, well, the Western European countries to build up the devastated countries from all the bombardment and stuff like that. But anyways, Denmark received that money, was one of the countries that received that money. 2 people got this wrong. This is a frequently asked question. You need to know the answer to this question, okay? All right, static top 5. Next one. New question. So the question is about when was Folkepension introduced in Denmark? All right, so Folkepension is a pension that is paid by the government to every citizen, regardless of what they earned. And you only get paid this after you retire. It was introduced in 1956. 8 people got this wrong. Round of applause. I can tell majority of you have been practicing. SMS is back in the game 3 in a row.
Oh my! He's
On to
on
the next
fire!
one. You've seen this before. Read it slowly, slowly. Okay, round of applause. So the question is, when did Denmark have its first female minister? There could be a question about when did Denmark have its first female prime minister? There is a difference. So the first female minister was Nina Bang. She was appointed by Thorvald Stauning, who was the first Social Democratic prime minister. And this was after the elections in 1924. She was a undervisning minister, so minister of education. So that could be a possible question they could ask. Nina Bang was minister of what? Back in 1924. 8 people got this wrong. Not too bad. Now you know what you don't know. This is a new question. So I'm actually quite happy that most of you did well on this. On to the next one. Actually, no. This is not a new question. That's frequently asked. Sorry. M191 is making a comeback with 3 in a row.
Oh my! He's
Next
on
one.
fire!
New question. I'm not expecting you guys to do well in this. So what did the Danish seismologist and geophysicist Inger Lehmann show in her article in 1936? All right, so this is Danish science in recent times. So she's one of the popular Danish, well, recent times. This is 1936, this is ages ago. This is a new question that hasn't been asked before, possible new question. How many people got this wrong? 44 people got this wrong. I'm not surprised. Well, now you know what you don't know. Plug the knowledge gap just in case this pops up. On to the next one. Ma has taken that number 1 spot from Chris. So at the moment it's Ma, Chris, Andy, Pan, and Victoria. KP is the highest climber up 10 places. That's a huge jump.
Excellent.
On to the next one. Have you seen this before? Let's see. So what areas did Denmark have to give up after Roskilde battle, the Battle of Roskilde? So they had to give up some land to Sweden. Right, it's Skåne, Halland, Blekinge, and parts of Norway. So this was the period where Denmark was fighting a lot of wars with Sweden. And Denmark lost a lot of those wars, actually. And those defeats led to Denmark losing a whole bunch of territory and inhabitants. Okay, 8 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. Next one. The test is in 3 days. You need to prepare. Hopefully, you haven't left it to the last minute. If you have to pull some all-nighters. On to the next one. So, who decides if a convicted member of parliament is unworthy to sit in parliament? This is a new question. So it is the members of parliament that decide if a convicted member of parliament is unworthy to sit in the parliament. A recent example is Inga Stoiber. She was convicted by Riesrat for the crime that she committed for separating the couple that was seeking asylum, and she's still in parliament. So she actually, I think she served a custodial sentence, 60 days or something. But she's back in parliament. She started a new party called Denmark's Demokraterne, and they did really well at the last elections. All right. 43 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. This is new. Victoria climbing the charts. On to the next one. Uh-oh, this is new.
Uh-oh.
So what is Bjorn Norgård's main work? Yes, so he made 17 huge tapestries, and they are hanging, I think, somewhere in Christiansborg. I can't remember exactly. They were given to the Queen on her birthday. I think it was her 50th or 60th birthday. And this is a new question. This is from the section of artists and painters and all that kind of stuff. And possible new question for the next test. It's never been asked before. On to the next one. Nata is back in the game with 3 in a row, and
This girl is on fire.
all right, next one. So Lars Loke has been prime minister when and when? So between 2009 to 11, he was prime minister, and then Helle Thorning-Schmidt took over. And then from 2015 to 2019, he was also prime minister. So he's been prime minister twice. 18 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. Static top 5. 4 players lost their answer streak of 3. Sorry, guys. We're more than halfway through now. You know this. Please get this right so I can give you guys an explosion. Oh, yes, man. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah. I was waiting for this. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to give you 2 explosions. As 103 people got this right. Wow.
Wow!
Victoria is on fire.
This girl is on fire.
Victoria is another one of the elite players. She's been here with us since day 1. She's shown up for basically all the Kahoots. She's constantly practicing. Well done. Round of applause. So when was the first highway constructed? Oh, where was it constructed in Denmark? was between Copenhagen and Roskilde. 17 people got this wrong. This is a new question. Possible new questions should show up in the test. All right, Chris fell out of the top 5. At the moment, we have Ma, Andy, Victoria, Pan, and MC. Rosa is back in the game with 3 in a row.
Excellent.
Okay, so we are at question 29. So we have 6 questions to go before we get to current affairs. Frequently asked question. Please get this right. All right, so who has the judiciary power? It's the courts. Okay, this is a frequently asked question. 5 people got this wrong. This is one of the questions you definitely need to know the answer to. This is actually top 20, top 30 frequently asked question. Okay, do those quizzes on the website that I showed you, and you'll have this covered. Next one. All right, 14 players reached an answer streak of 3.
Excellent.
Next one. Frequently asked question as well. This is a major event in Denmark. Let's see if you guys get this right. Okay, 7 people got this wrong. 1920 was the reunion of Denmark with Sønderjylland. And Denmark lost Sønderjylland in the Second Schleswig War in 1864. So almost 100 years after, Denmark reunited with Sønderjylland. Some people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. Get to know. That is a frequently asked question. You need to know the answer to that. Egon Olsen is the highest climber up 3 places. We got 4 questions before we hit current affairs. New question.
Uh-oh.
Never been asked before. All right, so the Faroe Islands are 1,400 square kilometers in total. There are about 18 islands, if I'm not mistaken. Please check the book. Don't quote me on that. 31 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. Oh, man. Victoria fell out of the top 5. That was her weak spot. Ma, Andy, Pan, MC, Chris, 7 players just hit an answer streak of 9.
Excellent.
Next one. What is a minority government? All right, a minority government is a government that consists of multiple parties that do not have a majority in parliament. That's like a no-brainer, right? 10 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. This is frequently asked, so please get this right. Static top 5. 1024 is the highest climber, up 4 places. You know this. Please get this right. This is super duper frequently asked question. Oh, man, only one person got this wrong. Well, at least now you know what you don't know. The police can only hold you for 24 hours before they put you in front of a judge. All right. Now you know what you don't know. Whoever got this wrong, hopefully it was a mistake. If not, well, now you know what you don't know. Okay, so Ma has a streak with 34 correct answers in a row. That's 100% because the first 2 slides were slides. They were not questions. Ma is number 1. Ma is on fire. So Ma gets an explosion. 1 point. 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 All right. So someone is asking me, do you also cover recent news in your website? Yes, I just showed you that. Okay, at the end of this session, I'll show you again. Just hang in there. All right. 2 questions before we hit current affairs. So, what percentage of the Danish people are immigrants and their descendants? %14.4%. Okay, 21 people got this wrong. I'm not sure if this has been asked before. Anyways, whether or not it's been asked, at least for the people that got this wrong, now you know what you don't know. Potential question, potential new question. Okay, 2018. Good. 4 players lost the answer streak of 8. This was a combo breaker. We've got 10 questions to go at the moment. We're done with history. We're moving to current affairs now. So this is sports and a sport team doing well in the world. Okay, 10 people got this wrong. So it was the handball men team that won the championship. But the person that was asking about current affairs, okay, nearlydanish.com, you're going to hit the front page. Infos ads porn, Melbo escapes porn. Okay, go to the quizzes for Melbo escape, infos ads porn, and scroll down, and you will see it there boldly saying current affairs. Click on that, and boom, you have all of them. You've got the government, you've got political parties and their leaders, and current affairs 1, 2, and 3. So these are things from the news, okay? Also, on the Facebook page, if you look at the featured posts here, you can see this. It says, where can I find latest current affairs news from the last 6 months? Click on that, and it shows you this guy saying you can find them in the comments. And if you scroll, you see a whole bunch of stuff that many people have been posting. Okay, have a look through this, and hopefully this is enough to cover the current affairs. All right, we're moving back to the Kahoot. Okay, next one. 6 players hit an answer streak of 13. Protests. So what group gathered at Christians' Ball to protest against the tax that was levied on transportation? Okay, it's the truck drivers. 6 people got this wrong. We have rehearsed this in one of the Kahoots that was solely focused on current affairs. So if you're one of the 6 people, you haven't seen that, you can watch that on YouTube, or you can just go to the quiz, go to the website, and the quizzes. All of these questions are there. All right. Static top 5. Sus just hit an answer streak of 12.
Excellent.
On to the next one. The government. That's the theme of the question. All right. Nikolai Wyman is the finance minister. 27 people got this wrong. Well, now you know what you don't know. Practice with those quizzes on the website. All right. Stephanie's back in the game, 3 in a row.
This girl is on fire.
We have 2 current affairs questions left, and then we'll move to Danish values. So, official visit by Crown Prince and the Crown Princess in February up until the 1st of March. To what country? That's the question. All right, it was to India. 15 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. Okay, so the themes of the current affairs is usually famous dead people, official visits, the government, leaders of political parties, protests, state affairs, scandals. So sexual harassment, stuff like that. I've gathered the current affairs news that fit those themes, and I've made them into quizzes. I've put them on the website. However, the websites are not the holy grail. Okay, so I discovered those themes when I looked at basically all the exams and saw the pattern. Okay, however, there could be questions that I didn't catch that might show up in the test. But with that said, there's a high probability that some of the questions I did catch will show up in the test. So, tough round, 4 players lost their answer streak of 3. Sorry, guys. Next one. Got 6 questions to go. Political parties and their leaders. So, who is the leader of the Socialistische Volkspartij? The Socialist People's Party. All right, it's Pia Olsen Dyr. Not sure if I'm saying her name correctly. 13 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. We're moving to Danish values now. I think there's about 3 new questions in this Danish values that fit the themes that I also have uncovered. 3 new questions and 2 old questions. Let's see how this goes. Static top 5. RB is making a comeback with 3 in a row.
Excellent.
Next one. This fits the theme of gender equality. So, according to Danish law, can you separate classes into girls and boys? 2 people got this wrong. I'm not sure why. I guess you didn't really understand the question. But the themes I uncovered were gender equality, which is quite frequent. It is the most frequently occurring theme. And it's occurred in basically all of them. And actually, one of the questions has shown up twice. So you're probably going to see another gender equality question in the test on Wednesday. Don't have much else to say about that. 2 people got this wrong. Keep an eye out for gender equality questions. And like I said before, right? Whenever you're looking at a question, ask yourself, what is this question about? So they've asked questions about, is it according to Danish law, can you have different opening times for girls and boys at swimming pools? That's about gender equality. Okay. This one is about, can you have different classes for different rooms in school for girls and boys? That's a question about gender equality. There's also been a question about, can bishops be female in the Danish People's Church? That's a question about gender equality. Okay? So keep that in mind. Always ask yourself, what is this question about? And that would give you a clue as to what the right answer is. Keep in mind that we have gender equality here in Denmark. Okay? So if the question is saying if it's a negative or a positive, then, you know, that will determine what the answer is going to be. Anyways, on to the next one. Enough of talking. Menti is back. Same thing. In a different context. I hope that gave you a clue. Hopefully you guys get this right and I can give an explosion. Okay. Oh my God. I just spent a whole bunch of time explaining anyways. So this is a question about gender equality again. Okay. In this case, it's applied in the context of theaters. Are there different sections for men and women in theaters in Denmark? According to Danish law, of course, the answer is no. Okay, on to the next one. 5 players just hits an answer streak of 19.
Excellent.
All right, next one. This is not new. This is old. So the question is basically, are you allowed to have sexual intercourse with a 15-year-old even if the person gives you consent to have sex with them? And the theme here is child protection. Yes, we are going to do Kahoot every day until Tuesday. However, this is the last mock test we are doing. Tomorrow we'll be focusing on a section of the book, chapter 6. Okay, 2 people got this wrong. Round of applause. By the way, tomorrow is a public holiday. If we have the Kahoot during the day around 1 o'clock, what do you guys think about that? Exactly. So Keshab is asking, right? So around 1, I'm thinking about 1 o'clock. If not, we'll just do it at the usual time, 8. So just let me know. It's mixed. Anyways, look, we'll do it at 8 o'clock as usual, okay? Next one. We'll do it at 8. We'll do it at 8. We'll do it at 8. Okay, so include everyone. All right, Quinn is making a comeback with 3 in a row.
Excellent.
We've got 2 questions to go. Next one. All right, the theme of this is liberalism. Denmark is a liberal country. And that should inform the answer to this question. Okay. 1 second, yeah? All right. 5 people got this wrong. So is it possible for 2 people of the same gender to adopt a son? And the answer is yes. So homosexual couples can adopt children in Denmark. And Denmark is a liberal country. There was a question about this, whether someone that changes their gender can get a new CPR number for their new gender. And the answer was yes. So the theme here is liberalism, okay? Denmark is a liberal country. All right, 5 people got this wrong. Now you know what you don't know. Keep that in mind. If these things I'm saying, like liberal country, gender equality, all these things are not making sense to you, go and watch the session that we did on Danish values. It's on YouTube. It's clearly marked Danish values. So go there and watch that video and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, 3 players reached an answer streak of 3. Last question. Yes, so there could be more than 1 person using 1 screen, yeah? For Rafiu. All right, this is the last question. Okay, is it so fully down slow for the slow one? Yes. So according to Danish law, is it forbidden to beat your kids? The answer is yes. All right. We have Pan at number 3. Hang in there, don't leave yet. Andy at number 2. And who was it? Ma at number 1. MC and Chris 4-5.